Most people don't lose others because they are not good enough. They lose them because they are too easy to have. That sounds strange, but watch closely. When someone knows you will always answer, always care, always stay the same, something inside them relaxes. They stop trying. They stop thinking about you when you're not there. Not because they don't like you, but because nothing about you feels at risk. And the human mind doesn't hold on to what feels guaranteed. But here's the part no one tells you. It actually works against you. It holds on to what feels uncertain. That's why the moment you start pulling back, even a little, everything feels different. Suddenly they notice the silence. And what happens next is where everything flips. They start thinking about you more. They feel like something is off. Before, your presence was normal. Now, your absence feels loud. And this is where most people get confused, because they were taught to be consistent, to be available, to prove they care. But proving too much removes all tension. And without tension, there is nothing to think about, nothing to miss, nothing to chase. Niccolò Machiavelli understood something most people ignore, and this one idea alone can completely change how people see you. Power is not about doing more. It's about controlling when you are seen and when you are not. When people can't fully predict you, they start paying attention. When they feel they might lose access to you, they start valuing it. And when your presence is no longer constant, it becomes important. So if you feel like you're always giving but never truly valued, the problem is not your effort. The problem is people feel like they can always have you. And once you understand this, you stop trying to be everywhere. You start choosing when to show up. And that's when people begin to notice you in a way they never did before. But this is where it gets deeper. You might think this is just about attention, but it goes much deeper than that. When people stop valuing your presence, it slowly changes how they treat you. They reply slower, they invest less, they stop putting in effort. And over time, you become someone they're used to, not someone they're afraid to lose. And that shift is dangerous, because once someone feels completely secure in having you, they stop working to keep you. It's not that they decided to disrespect you, it's that your constant availability removed any reason for them to try. This is where most people get it wrong. They believe giving more will fix the problem, so they become even more available, even more understanding, even more patient. But that only makes things worse, because now there is zero tension, zero urgency, zero consequence. And without those things, there is no emotional weight behind your presence. Niccolò Machiavelli believed that control doesn't come from force, it comes from perception. And right now, the perception you're creating is simple. You'll always be there no matter what. That idea alone removes your power. Because if someone knows they won't lose you, they don't feel the need to value you. So this is not just about changing how others act. It's about understanding that if nothing changes, the same pattern will repeat again and again, no matter who comes into your life. Now here's where most people completely misunderstand this. The first thing you need to understand is simple, but most people ignore it. When someone can reach you anytime they want, you slowly lose your importance in their mind. Not all at once, not in a dramatic way, but little by little. It starts small. They take longer to reply. They stop putting in effort. They assume you'll always be there anyway. And the reason this happens is not because you did something wrong. It's because you made your presence feel unlimited. When something has no limit, the brain stops noticing it. Think about something basic. This example will make it obvious. You don't think about the air around you, even though you need it to live. But the moment it's taken away, even for a few seconds, it becomes the only thing that matters. Your time and attention work the same way. When you give them without any pause, without any gap, without any control, people stop seeing their value. They get used to it. And once they get used to it, they stop respecting it. This is where you need to change the way you move. Not by becoming cold, not by disappearing completely, but by removing that constant access people have to you. Niccolò Machiavelli believed that power is not about being available all the time. It's about controlling access. Because the moment people feel like they can reach you whenever they want, they stop seeing you as something important and start seeing you as something normal. And normal things don't stay on the mind for long. So what does this actually look like in real life? It means you stop replying the second your phone lights up. Not to play games, but to break the pattern. It means you don't always pick up calls right away. It means you don't drop everything just because someone wants your attention in that moment. You start treating your time like it matters, because if you don't, no one else will. At first, this will feel uncomfortable. You'll feel like you're being distant. You'll feel like something is off. That's because you're used to being constantly available. You trained yourself to respond quickly, to be there instantly, to make others a priority. So when you stop doing that, it feels like you're doing something wrong. But you're not. You're just changing the pattern. And when the pattern changes, people notice. At first, they might not say anything. Then they start to feel it. Why didn't they reply yet? That's not like them. Are they busy or are they pulling away? And just like that, your absence enters their mind. You didn't explain anything, but they can feel the change. This is how attention starts to grow, not from doing more, but from doing less in a controlled way. But there is one important rule here. This only works if it's real. If you delay your reply, but spend that whole time staring at your phone, waiting for their message, nothing has changed. You're still controlled, just in a different way. Real change happens when your life is not centered around them anymore. You're actually busy. You're focused on your own work, your own goals, your own priorities. Your attention is not sitting there waiting to be given. And that's what makes the difference. Because now, when you're not replying, it's not an act. It's just your reality. And people can feel that. They can sense when your time is limited. And limited things always feel more valuable. Slowly, the dynamic starts to shift. They begin to match your pace instead of you matching theirs. They think before they message. They put in more effort into what they say. Because now, getting your attention is no longer automatic. It's something they have to earn. And that changes everything. So don't explain it. Don't announce it. Just stop being available all the time. Because the moment your access becomes limited, your value starts to rise. There's another reason people stop thinking about you, and it has nothing to do with your value. It has to do with how easy you are to read. When someone can predict exactly how you will act, when you will reply, how you will react, and what you will tolerate, they stop paying attention. Not because they don't care, but because there is nothing new to figure out. The human mind doesn't stay focused on what feels solved. It only stays where there's something missing. It stays focused on what feels unclear. So when your behavior becomes a fixed pattern, you slowly move into the background of their mind. They don't need to think about you anymore because they already know you. This is where most people make a mistake. They think being consistent in every way builds attraction, but there is a difference between being consistent in who you are and being predictable in how you behave. When your actions follow the same pattern every time, people stop feeling any sense of curiosity. And without curiosity, attention fades. Niccolò Machiavelli understood that when people can fully read you, they stop respecting your position. Because once you are easy to understand, you are easy to control. So, instead of being completely predictable, you need to become harder to read. Not fake, not confusing for no reason, but less obvious. It means sometimes you reply quickly, and other times you take your time. Sometimes you show interest, and other times you stay more reserved. Sometimes you react, and other times you stay calm and say nothing. This breaks the pattern they are used to. When your behavior changes, they start paying attention again. Now they start thinking, why did they respond like that? Why are they acting different? Did something change? And just like that, you move from something predictable to something worth paying attention to. This is how mental focus begins. Not because you did something dramatic, but because you removed the comfort of knowing exactly what to expect from you. But this only works if it comes from control, not emotion. If you change your behavior because you're upset, it will show. If you act differently just to get a reaction, it will feel forced, and people can sense that. Real impact comes when your actions are calm and chosen, not emotional and reactive. You are not trying to confuse anyone, you are simply no longer easy to figure out. That difference is important, because now, instead of them setting the pace, you do. Before, they knew exactly how you would respond, so they felt relaxed. Now, they have to pay attention, they have to think, they have to adjust. And when someone starts investing mental energy like that, you naturally become more important in their mind. This is how interest grows without you chasing it. But remember this clearly, you are not becoming unpredictable to play games. You are doing it to stop being controlled by a fixed pattern. You are allowing your behavior to change based on your own pace, not someone else's expectations. And that alone creates a shift. Because now, your presence feels alive, not routine. It feels different, not automatic. And anything that feels different naturally pulls attention. So stop giving the same reactions every time. Stop following the same rhythm. Stop making it easy for others to know exactly how you will act. Because the moment people can't fully read you, they start thinking about you more. And when they start thinking about you more, you become harder to ignore. Now here's the part almost nobody gets right. Most people don't actually step back. They just make a show out of it. They say things like, "I need space," or "I won't be around for a while," thinking it will make others notice them more. But the truth is, the moment you explain your distance, you remove its impact. Because now there is nothing to figure out. Everything is clear, everything is expected, and nothing feels real. Instead of creating value, you just create noise. This is where people lose their power without realizing it. They think speaking about their absence makes it stronger, but it actually makes it weaker. Niccolò Machiavelli believed that real power moves quietly. It doesn't ask for attention. It doesn't explain itself. It simply changes the situation. And that's exactly what you need to do. Instead of announcing your distance, you just take it. No long messages, no emotional talks, no warnings. You stop showing up the same way you used to. And because you didn't explain it, something important happens. The other person is left alone with their thoughts. They don't know why things changed. They don't know what caused it. And the human mind doesn't like that. It starts searching for answers. Did I do something wrong? Are they losing interest? Why are they acting different? You didn't give them answers, so their mind starts making its own. And that's what makes it powerful, because now they're forced to think without answers. When there is no clear reason, people create their own story. And most of the time, that story makes your absence feel even bigger than it really is. But there's a catch. You have to be strong enough to stay quiet. This is where most people fail. They step back for a moment, then they come back too quickly. They go silent, then send a message just to see what happens. They create distance, then explain it because the silence feels uncomfortable. And the moment you do that, everything resets. Now it looks like a move, not a standard. And once people feel that it's just a move, it loses all its effect. So, if you step back, you have to mean it. Not in an angry way, not in a dramatic way, but in a calm and controlled way. You are not leaving to get a reaction. You are leaving because your presence is no longer being treated with value. That difference changes everything. Because now your silence is not a trick, it's a decision. At first, they might not react. They might even feel comfortable. They might think nothing has really changed. But as time passes, your absence starts to feel real. The usual messages don't come. The usual attention is not there. The pattern they were used to is gone. And that's when it starts to affect them. They begin to notice the gap. They start thinking about you more. They replay past moments, trying to understand what changed. And all of this happens without you saying a single word. That's the power of quiet distance. It doesn't force attention, it creates it. So don't explain your absence. Don't try to make it understood. Just step back and let the silence do its work. Sometimes being quiet makes a bigger impact than talking too much. But even if you do all of this, you can still fail. A lot of people think the key is to be physically distant, but that's not what really changes anything. You can stop texting, stop calling, stop showing up, and still not be missed the way you expect. Why? Because you're still giving something more important without realizing it, your emotional access. Just because you're not there in person doesn't mean they've lost you. If they still feel your support, your reassurance, your constant care, then nothing has really changed. They still have what matters most. And as long as they have that, they don't feel your absence deeply. This is where things need to shift. Niccolò Machiavelli pointed out that control is not about physical presence, it's about influence. And emotional access is where that influence lives. When someone knows they can still get your validation whenever they want, they don't feel any urgency. They don't feel any loss. They feel comfortable. And comfort is what slowly removes value. So instead of just stepping away physically, you need to reduce how much emotional energy you give. That means you stop being the person who always reassures them. You stop always being the one who lifts them up the moment they feel unsure. You stop reacting to everything they say with the same level of care and attention. Not because you don't care, but because you're no longer giving it without limits. This is what creates scarcity. And scarcity is what makes people pay attention. Before, your words were always there, so they didn't feel special. Now, they become rare. And when something becomes rare, it becomes important. The other person starts to feel the difference. They notice that you're not responding the same way. They feel that your energy is not as easy to access, and that creates a gap where your attention used to be. And the human mind reacts strongly to that kind of gap. It starts asking questions. Why are they different now? Why don't they respond like before? Did something change? And just like that, they begin to focus on you more. Not because you did more, but because you stopped giving everything. But this only works if you stay consistent with it. If you pull back emotionally, then suddenly go back to giving everything again, the effect disappears. Because now it feels temporary. It feels like a phase, not a real change. Real impact comes when your behavior reflects a new standard. You are not reacting based on what they expect anymore. You are choosing what you give based on what feels right for you. And that's what creates respect. Because now your attention is not automatic, it's intentional. And intentional things always carry more weight. So don't just remove your presence. Remove the constant emotional supply that comes with it. Because the moment they stop receiving that easily is the moment they start realizing what they had. And once they feel that loss, they can't ignore you the same way anymore. Most people rush to explain themselves because they think clarity keeps everything stable. They feel a shift, so they try to fix it with words. They go quiet, then send a message to explain why. They act different, then quickly clear it up so nothing feels confusing. But what they don't realize is that by doing this, they remove the very thing that makes people think about them. When everything is explained, there is nothing left to figure out. And when there is nothing to figure out, the mind moves on. Niccolò Machiavelli understood that not everything should be made clear, because the moment people fully understand you, they stop paying close attention. But when something feels incomplete, the mind holds on to it. It keeps going back, trying to make sense of it. That's how focus is created without effort. So instead of explaining every change, you allow a little confusion to exist. You don't rush to clear things up. You don't give answers to every question. You don't explain why you took longer to reply or why your energy feels different. You let it be, and that space you leave behind starts to work on its own. The other person begins to think, why are they acting like this? Did something change? Are they pulling away? These questions don't come from what you said. They come from what you didn't say. And that's what makes them powerful. Because now, instead of you trying to stay in their mind, their own thoughts are keeping you there. They replay conversations. They look at small details. They try to understand your behavior. And the more they think about it, the more important you become in their mind. This is how uncertainty works. It creates a loop, and that loop keeps bringing them back to you again and again. But here's the part most people struggle with. You have to be okay with being misunderstood. You have to be okay with not correcting every wrong idea they might have about you, because the moment you try to control how they see you, you break the effect. You go back to explaining, and once everything is clear again, the thinking stops. Real strength is being able to stay quiet, even when you could easily explain. It's being able to let things sit without rushing to fix them. Because not every gap needs to be filled. Some gaps are what make people pay attention in the first place. So, when something changes, don't rush to explain it. When you pull back, don't justify it. When you stay silent, don't break it just to make things clear. Let them wonder. Let them think. Let them sit with that feeling of not fully knowing, because that feeling is what keeps you on their mind. And the more space you give their thoughts to grow, the stronger your presence becomes without you doing anything at all. Everything you've heard so far will not work if one thing is still there, your need for them. You can reply late, act different, stay quiet, and pull back. But if deep inside you are still waiting for their message, still checking your phone, still hoping they notice the change, then nothing has really changed. You're still tied to their reaction. And the moment your emotions depend on what they do, they have control, even if they don't realize it. This is the part most people avoid because it's uncomfortable. It's easier to change behavior than it is to change what you feel. But real power doesn't come from what you show on the outside. It comes from what you no longer depend on inside. Niccolò Machiavelli believed that the strongest position is not when others react to you, but when you are no longer controlled by their reactions. That's what detachment really means. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop needing. There's a big difference between those two things. When you need someone's attention, their approval, or their presence to feel okay, you automatically adjust yourself to keep them. You reply faster than you want to. You explain more than you should. You ignore things that bother you, all because you don't want to lose them. And without realizing it, you give away your control piece by piece. But when you let go of that need, something shifts. You're no longer acting out of fear. You're acting out of choice. You reply when it feels right, not when you feel pressure. You step back because you want to, not because you're trying to prove something. You stay silent without feeling the urge to break it. And that creates a completely different energy, one that cannot be easily influenced. Before, small changes in their behavior would affect you. If they replied late, you felt it. If they pulled back, you reacted. If they changed, you tried to fix it. But now, you stay steady. Your mood doesn't move based on their actions. Your sense of value doesn't depend on how they treat you. And that stability is what creates real strength. Because now, there is nothing for them to control. And when someone can't control you, the dynamic changes. They start paying more attention. They start putting in more effort. Not because you asked for it, but because they feel the shift. But getting to this point is not easy. Detachment feels strange at first. You might feel empty. You might feel like something is missing. That's because you were used to getting emotional feedback from them. You were used to the constant interaction, the replies, the small signals that made you feel connected. And when that stops, it feels quiet, too quiet. This is where most people go back. They reach out again. They break the distance. They return to old habits because that silence feels uncomfortable. But if you stay with it, if you don't run from that feeling, something powerful starts to build. You become stable on your own, not cold, not distant, but grounded. You still care, but you're not affected the same way. You still engage, but you're not dependent. And that balance is what gives you control. Because now, your presence is not something you're trying to give to be accepted. It's something you choose to offer. And people can feel that difference. They sense when someone is not chasing, not waiting, not needing anything from them. And that creates respect. Because now, you are not trying to gain something. You are deciding what deserves your time. That's when everything flips. You're no longer trying to be important in their life. You become someone they don't fully understand anymore. Someone they can't easily predict. Someone they can't take for granted. And that's what makes them think about you more. Not because you forced it, but because you removed the need that was holding you back. So stop looking for their reaction. Stop waiting for their message to feel okay. Stop depending on their attention to feel valued. Because the moment you don't need them anymore is the moment they start noticing you in a way they never did before. In the end, this was never about doing more to be seen. It was about doing less in the right way. People value things more when they feel they might lose them. And once you understand that, you stop trying to prove your value all the time. Niccolò Machiavelli made it clear, when people feel they always have access to you, they relax. But when that access is no longer certain, they start paying attention. So stop being everywhere, stop explaining everything, and start choosing when you show up. If this changed how you see things, like the video, share it, and subscribe for more.